This is a knight, and if you are thinking that the knight is just a normal piece holding merely 3 points, then you are wrong, my friend, because this knight solely is capable of destroying black's king like your opponent's king. It doesn't matter whether you're playing with a white or black, but it is solely capable of destroying your opponent's king in no time just by sacrificing himself. Now I know that you have doubts on this statement, like how can just a mere knight can destroy our opponent's king, but let me give you the proof, and then after this video you can decide whether this knight is just a normal piece or a very great aggressive piece. So in this video I'm going to show you 5 amazing traps, 5 amazing openings in which we are going to sacrifice our knight to gain positional advantages, to gain aggressive power plays, and to go for a checkmate. So this is me Shubham Kumar, your host, and you're watching Mr. Cyril Chess, and let's see 5 nightmare openings through which you can win easily. So the game starts with e4, the standard king's pawn opening. Through this, white is proclaiming the control but center. It's called the very aggressive opening because from the e4 you can unleash way more threats on the black's king, and we are going to look on one of those only. So we have e5, the standard king's pawn opening response. First, we are going to look for the most played move. It's knight f3, the king's knight opening. Right now it's king's knight opening, but after your opponent plays knight c6, then what do we have? It's actually bishop c4, the Italian system. Now the most played move by the black is knight f6. Then you simply have to go knight g5, a very straightforward attack called the fried liver. Your opponent will soon realize that f7 is very weak and is under a lot of pressure. That's why they will go with d5, the most played move. Again, we have pawn takes pawn, and the best move for the black is knight ace5, and let me show you. After knight a5 you simply have to go with this check, pawn blocks, pawn takes, and we have queen f3, very great maneuver, just pinning this pawn to the, let's say they go with a bishop to this b7, that's fine. You simply just drop your bishop back to this a4, that's great. Then they push your knight back, you have knight at this e4, knight takes, queen takes. Guess what the most played move by the black is? Bishop d6, and after bishop d6 you have to simply go with the pawn to b4. Right now this knight is just under threat, and you can see this knight is just trapped, so this knight doesn't have a really good squares to go. So bishop will take this pawn, we have queen take this bishop. Guess what, you are ahead by 3 points. Okay, so you are ahead by 3 points and you are going to win this game if you play logically. But right now we are not going to look on this variation, but we are going to look on the most played variation, and that is knight take this pawn. At this point of time, again, sacrifice this knight. Guys, sacrifice this knight at f7. That's the key move. So king takes, we have queen to this f3, going for this check again. Let's say king goes back to g8, one of the very great blunders, because then you can simply sacrifice your queen here. Queen takes, bishop to this e6, bishop takes, and that's just a checkmate. Very great. However, if you're playing on the higher elo like 1000 or 1200, then people are not gonna play king g8, but they are gonna play king e8. Then you simply grab this bishop because that's a double attack. And if you look at the database, it's knight d4, the most played move. However, that is actually a very great blunder. Even my sister is not gonna play this move. It's queen f7 checkmate. That's great. However, if you are playing again on higher elo like 1200 to 15 or 1600, they are gonna play king e6. Then you simply have to add one more attacker, knight to this c3, hitting on this knight thrice. That's fine. They will go with knight to this b4, just defending this knight once again. Now there is one more threat, knight c2. So you have to go with queen e4, just defending this pawn and also maintaining the pressure at this d5. Now they will go with pawn to c6, defending this knight. We have to go with the a3, hitting on this knight. They will go with pawn to b5, hitting on the bishop. Simply move a bishop back, knight moves away, and then you have to play a very great maneuver. It's knight, not knight, pawn d5, hitting on this pawn. If we look at the database, again we have bishop d6, just blocking the queen's protection from the knight, and this knight right now vulnerable. So knight take this knight is your good move. So knight takes knight, pawn takes, bishop takes with a check. Let's say king to this e7, and guess what? Bishop g5 simply wins this queen. That's fine. So let's say king to this d7, just take it, bishop takes, and you simply just grab this rook. That's it. If they try to go with rook e8, so that this bishop can go for this c3, a discover check, and now we would simply lose our queen. However, that's not a case because we have bishop c6. Very good. King moves away, grab this rook, queen take this bishop, you have bishop d2, so that bishop c3 doesn't become a threat on your queen. So right now guys, you have total 6 points lead. Congratulations, you can simply win this game if you play logical. If we look on the second nightmare attack, this is from the bishop's opening by bishop c4, a very great maneuver. Let's say your opponent played knight f6, the most played move, hitting on this central pawn directly. We just allow them to hit our pawn by knight f3, and we are hitting on their pawn. That's great. Let's say knight take the central pawn, then simply go with knight c3, offering a trade. Knight takes knight, we have pawn takes knight. Now the development is complete, and most of the people are gonna play d6 because they want to defend e5 square, and it's in the database guys, you can see d6 is the most played move. And now guys, you have to play a very great maneuver. We are gonna sacrifice our knight, but right now it's time for the bishop to get sacrificed. On f7, king takes, and now we have knight e5 going for this great attack. Let's say pawn take this knight, we have queen takes queen. Guess what? We just won this game because your opponent is probably gonna resign from this match. Let's say if your opponent plays king e7, then guess what? Bishop to g5 simply wins this queen again, so that's fine. So guys, it's time for us to look at the third nightmare variation. It start with knight c3, the Vienna gambit, and then we have knight f6, a traditional line against the Vienna gambit called the Fogbeer variation. Then we have pawn to f4, our Vienna gambit kind of thing, offering this pawn here. So pawn takes pawn is the most played move. Then simply go with the e5, hitting on this knight, and soon your opponent is gonna realize that this knight doesn't really have good squares to go, and knight to this g8 is just a passive move, and they are gonna lose the center by pawn to d4, and also bishop hitting on this pawn. So we are gonna have a very great development. That's why most of the people play smart and they go with queen e7, unknowing the fact that we also have queen e2. Just unpinning this pawn, this knight is still hanging, and they have to go with knight back to this g8 this time. Then you have knight f3. That's fine because you have to defend this h5 square so that queen doesn't come and trouble your king. Now, as per the database, guys, most of the people are gonna play d6 to hit this pawn. Then what do we have? It's knight d5 hitting on this queen, and also going to threat c7, a fork on this king and this rook. That's fine. So queen moves away. Then and now, guys, guess what? Sacrifice this knight at this c7. You will ask me why. I will tell you, because of this, a discover check and also a discover attack. That's great. It's not a discover attack actually, or maybe it is. I want you guys to comment whether it's a discover check or discover attack. Like it is a discover check, but is it a discover attack also? That's what I want to know in the comment section. So please reply guys. Okay. So queen goes for a defense. You just grab this queen. If queen is not going for defense, let's say you defend with the bishop, you still take this queen. That's fine. You are going to win this game. And now guys, it's time for us to look for the fourth variation. We have knight f3 and we have knight c6, the traditional line. We are going with pawn to c3, the Ponziani opening. It's very great. Then we have knight is f6, hitting on this pawn because that's undefended. And also, yes, this is actually undefended. So they are actually hitting on the central pawn. Now you could defend this pawn with the pawn to d3, but that's not a good option. We are going to play d4, striking in the center. Now let's say knight take this pawn at e4, then simply go with pawn to d5, hitting on this knight. Knight moves away and you simply grab this pawn here. So now the material balance is actually equal, but the intentions of the black is not looking fine because he will go with d6, hitting on your knight. Guess what? We have a very great chance to just crush black's king, and that is bishop to this c5. Okay, not the b5, sorry. Bishop b5 check on this king. Let's say bishop defend. Then we have bishop take the bishop. Remember, it's defended by the knight and king doesn't have really good squares. Actually, king has nothing. King has nowhere to go. So queen take this bishop is the only move. Just grab this queen. Guess what? You simply win this game. That's great. So they are not gonna play bishop d7 but pawn to this c6. You grab this pawn here. Let's say they grab another pawn. Then you just grab this pawn with the knight and hitting on this queen and also preparing for discover check. So we have knight takes, bishop takes, and now this rook is lost forever. Congratulations. Moreover, this knight is also hanging. Let me just show you one more thing, guys. Let's say if bishop takes with the check, let's say bishop blocks, you don't have to take this rook because that's a very passive move. You have to take this knight first, because by taking this rook, you are going to lose your bishop also. And guess what? This knight is still present in the center. A central knight is far more dangerous than an undeveloped rook or rook present at this sideline. This knight is in the center, so it is actually far more dangerous for you. So you have to take this knight. Now, if we talk about material balance, the moment you grab this rook, you have only 2 point lead. I mean, you will gain only 2 points, but if you grab this knight, you will gain 3 points. That will make your 4 point lead advantage. That's fine. This rook is still under attack, so black has to move his rook anyhow, and then you have queen e2 preparing for this discover check again or discover attack again. You can see this is actually very great tactics, so you can have 4 point lead. But your opponent is not gonna play this much dumb. He is not going to take this pawn with the pawn. Instead, they will play queen b6. And if you are thinking like pawn takes pawn with a check here, and let's say king moves away, you grab this rook making another queen, that's your end of the line, because we have queen f2 a checkmate, so that's fine for the black, not for you. That's why the moment we have pawn takes pawn, king moves away, don't take this rook right away, but we have knight f7 check on this king. King moves away, grab this rook, but make a knight under promotion. King takes, grab this queen. What happened? Yes, grab this queen. King takes, grab this rook. King take this bishop, and you have this check, and also this a double check, a double attack kind of thing. King moves away, grab this knight. Guess what? You are still gonna win this game because you have 21 point lead. Damn it, 21 point lead. You have, guys, you have 21 point lead. If you are not gonna win in this session, then how can? Okay, it's time for the fifth variation, and it is for the black pieces. So we have e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. Most of the players are gonna play bishop b5, the Ruy Lopez. It's actually very amazing, guys, because Ruy Lopez is some kind of positional, but on the other hand, it's very aggressive also. So if you are gonna play like at 1800 or 1900, people refuse to play bishop c4 but play bishop b5 Ruy Lopez. Now, what you have to do, simply go with knight to this f6, the Berlin defense. They are not going to take it, but they are going to play castle. Like if they are very positional, they are going to play castle, and then only you have knight g4, a very great maneuver. That's what I said. Sacrifice your knight. So we have h3. Then we simply go with h5 because we have to sacrifice our knight. So pawn take this knight, pawn takes pawn. Guess what? This knight is just hanging. Knight moves away, and we have queen h4. And guess what? This is just a checkmate. Like it has been only 7 moves that white is going to face this kind of trouble. Like we are on just 7th move, and white is going to get crushed. So the most played move is like, okay, that's the f3. Then you simply just go with the g3, just blocking this square, hitting on this knight. Right now this is checkmate anyway. Knight moves away, and guess what? We have queen into this h1 checkmate. That's great. So guys, these were the 5 nightmare attacks, or you can say these were the 5 openings in which you can unleash nightmare attacks, and you can see how well these sacrifices work. And guess what? Your opponent is gonna get crushed within 15 moves. So if you ever try these nightmare attacks, do comment about it, and you can also share your games, so I will analyze those games too. So that's all for today. If you like this video, then hit the share button, like button, and also comment about your thoughts, and also subscribe the channel. Okay, that will help me, of course. Now I want you to give me a feedback, like how is the speed in this video? Like, am I speaking too fast in this video, or this speed is correct? Okay, so just that only. I will be in the next video. Till then, take care.